Joe, Gage, Max, and Joe. Gage, Max, Joe, Gage, Max, and Joe. YouTube live show with Gage, Max, and Joe. Yeah, they're fired up and ready to go. Gage, Max, and Joe. Gage, Max, Joe, Gage, Max, and Joe. Gage, Max, Joe, Gage, Max, and Joe. YouTube live show with Gage, Max, and Joe. Well, they're fired up and ready to go. Gage, Max, and Joe.
Wow, that was good.
That was actually pretty good. Well, welcome back to the show. We're here. We're obviously psyched about it. Joe's producing some sick vocals for us. We had a pretty interesting weekend, Max. First of all, Max, how we doing, man?
Doing great, man.
I'm loving the mundane flow you got rocking over there, man.
That sounds like a backhanded compliment.
No,
Yeah, I love the minimal effort you're putting in right now, Max.
You said you were gonna get a mullet, though, didn't you?
Dude, oh yeah. We'll see. I don't know.
Dude, you definitely should. That'd be so sick.
It'll take so long though.
Mullet, Max. Joe, how we doing, man?
I'm good, man. You know, it's our first week of Team Week.
That's true. Team week. So
Team. Team.
we got the moles today, so that'll be a pretty good show. Got the
Not just the moles.
Oh, my bad. The beach volley Vikings. We had the beach volley.
Don't give away yet our Thursday guest.
That's true. That's gonna be a.
We won't say. We'll keep that on the DL.
Actually,
But, spoiler alert. It's a team.
It's a team.
Week.
Well, so before we kind of get into our show, we want to kind of address the giveaways. The giveaway, phenomenal responses, but remember, you have to submit and duet a TikTok of us. It can't just be tagging friends. Although we love getting our name out there, we love that. Just make sure you duet on TikTok and send it to us.
Yeah. The tag, the extra submission with the tag on our Instagram only counts if you duet or react to one of our TikTok dances.
Yeah, so go ahead and do that.
You tell them, Max.
And moving forward here, for this segment at the beginning of our show, we have been getting a lot of emails and a lot of DMs in it with a lot of questions, and we're figuring, you know what? Why don't we just answer them on the show? We could sit there and type them out, but let's just answer them here on the show. And so we're gonna run through a bunch of messages here we received this week. I think everybody's gonna benefit from these questions.
Let's go back and forth, all three of us, maybe.
For sure, absolutely.
Love it. Joe, you kick it off.
We got first from here. We got Peyton Glass from Dallas, Texas. She's 14 years old, and she huge fan of the show. And her and her brother are always running around the house singing our intro song. She messaged us.
That's flattering, man.
But on top of that, she was asking. I think Gage could get into this a little bit.
Okay.
Undersized hitter. How do you establish yourself, and how do you take your game to the next level in being an undersized hitter?
Here we go. So first things first, you need to be able to have a lot of ball control, because if you can't bring blocking, you got to bring defense. Maybe not blocking defense, but bam, there you go. 2, you usually have to have a pretty decent vertical. Or 3, you have to have a lot of control over the ball, meaning shots, different angles, right? A lot of big guys just go up and swing over the top people. You got to kind of chisel away, learn to use the block. Another thing, stay patient. You might not get the kill right away. It might go off the hands again and again and again, and just keep playing. And 4, I don't know if it's 4 or 5. I don't know. Stay efficient. Another thing, stay efficient, because if you make a lot of errors as a smaller hitter, that's going to be that's going to be a downfall.
For sure. I think the bulldog mentality is super big though, because it's that balance of efficiency, but you have to be able to score, because coaches aren't going to be sitting there like, if the other guy's not scoring, they're most likely going to sub you out, because if the other guy's kind of their big hitter, then they're going to want to keep that guy on the floor in most cases, unless he's just not doing anything right or she's not doing anything right. So in those situations, make sure that you just need to be on, I think, the best all-around player on the floor. Going forward here, we got Langdon Liebler. Again, we're really bad at pronouncing. I guarantee butchered that. He's from Virginia.
No, that's a German name. That's a German-sounding name. I'm surprised.
Say it in a German accent. Say it in a German accent.
You say that in a German accent.
Okay.
What is it?
The Langdon Liebler. Das Langdon Liebler.
Yeah, it's kind of sounded like an alien accent at first.
So his questions, they relate to a few different things. One of them is, what should players look for when trying to improve their game by watching film?
Max, go.
Oh, man. I think we should talk to the OG film god himself, Joe Worsley, right here. No, but I honestly, everything I learned about watching film from Joe is just like, know your counterpart for sure on the court and have a good understanding of what they're going to do. And like, we use volumetrics. You can I'll let Joe have the floor and get into it because that's his area of expertise, man.
The coolest thing when I got to college was volumetrics. When I realized what that was and that the school was paying for, I didn't have to pay for it. And it literally is like almost every match in the world is analyzed, broken down, and I can go, or anybody, any players, any coaches can go type in, I want to see this guy hit in this rotation in these situations. And it pulls it up and just one after another that you can just rip them off. And for me, like, I'm an absolute volleyball nerd. So the video part of it is so cool to me. And when I'm going through, I think everybody there, it's so different for each position, what they have to look for. And you have to understand, again, what Max was saying, your counterpart, who who the mini games are between match. So for setters, a lot about the other middles. That's what I look at, what they do in certain situations. And on top of that, I think hitters got to understand for the most part what, like, I don't think there's a whole lot you can watch from film and from the blocking, but you just have to understand how, like, what your best shot is. Like, you have to understand they're going to take that away. The best team's going to try to take that away. But any receivers just going through serving, you got to understand, have a really good understanding of that person's best serve and don't let them ace you with their best serve. That's always frustrating for me when I'm on the floor, is like when we get aced by their best serve, we knew it was coming. So the film part of it is just get a general idea. You shouldn't be surprised by anything. Stuff that they do on a consistent basis, you should never be surprised by when you go into a match. If you are, then you didn't do a very good job getting ready in your film study.
It's hard, man. Even though the toughest servers, doesn't mean we're not gonna not pass it though.
I know, but for me, like, as a setter, I don't have to pass, so I can be a little more be a little more harsh with that. But it was always frustrating to me when, like, we knew this is coming and it beat us. Like, for me, I'm like, in film, you see that happen so many times.
Yeah, but 80 mile an hour is coming, so like, all right,
True,
we know
I
it's
know.
coming.
We knew this. We were ready.
But if it happens, like, in the one zone where he's getting all
for
his
sure,
aces
for
from,
sure.
like, don't let that happen. The best teams, I mean, of course, there's outliers. I think, though, that they are capable of eliminating their best serve. If you're going to compete at the highest level at any sport, that's what the Patriots so good. The New England Patriots, American football, for those who aren't familiar with that team, they've won countless championships. It's because what they do is they take away the best attribute of the other team's offense and defense, and they isolate that. And so for that, I think that's super important that you learn that through film. We'll answer one more question here that he sent. What do you think is the best way to grow the sport of volleyball, Gage?
Well, you can get me out there in a Speedo. That'd be one. I don't know. The biggest thing is just watching. Don't get a lot of media. And I think who's starting a professional league in the U.S.? Who is it? Jordan.
Belfort.
No, Trace with the USA team. What's her name?
Jordan Larson?
Jordan Larson, yeah. So Jordan Larson is actually starting not a media, but a pro league for
I don't know if
women's
she's
volleyball.
starting it. I'm
She's
sure
a
she's
partner.
part of it, but I don't know.
Is that like what Matt August was doing? Is that related to that? Or is that a totally
No,
different thing?
it's something totally different.
Oh no, I saw something about
The
that.
Women's
USAV
Professional
posted
League,
that.
yeah. And it's connected with USA Volleyball. I'm not
Yep.
sure about the details. We'll do some research and get you guys more information. We'll talk to some people about that for future shows. We'll get into that. But it is a women's professional league, and they have some big names a part of it. So
We'll see.
Joe,
Sorry,
Joe was talking about volumetrics earlier too. I think that as far as growing the game goes, like, that could be a huge thing. I feel like we're at a bit of a disadvantage, like in the U.S., where like pro volleyball is not a thing that people are talking about. You know what I mean?
yeah.
So for us to try to watch matches and stuff, volumetrics is one of the only places where me and Gage can, go watch your games.
That's why the NBA is so dominant, just in general in the media world across the entire in the world, because from the social media aspect, they're so on top of their game, and
I know,
they're so far ahead of everybody else in that every other league, and that's why they've jumped NFL and all the other leagues in the U.S. because their social media content is just on another level, and everybody's
Big
trying to play catch up
personalities.
with them. So from a volleyball standpoint, that's kind of what we are looking forward to, and the ideas that we have going forward. Once we kind of get out of this quarantine thing, we have a lot of cool ideas, and we want to really kind of adventure with that type of stuff, because the media world is what's going to help, I think, volleyball the most. The kind of exploration through that
for sure.
part of it.
We're gonna be like Joe Rogan, move to Spotify, sign $100+ million contract.
Dude, that's a crazy deal, man.
It's $100 million.
So that's what we're going for. So
We got 2 more here. We'll take one question from each of them. We got, again, I'm so bad at names. I really apologize. From Barbados,
Wow.
Kiana Elaine. Again, I'm really sorry if I mispronounced that. This is a really good question. I bet a lot of people are wondering about this. To deal with negative energy from the junior team, from her junior girls team, how would you recommend the best way to handle that is dealing with negative energy from teammates?
Negative energy from teammates. I feel
Negative
like honestly, yeah, bad chakra, unbalanced. No, I feel like we've had the blessing. I feel like at UH past couple of years that there's been a pretty limited amount of negative energy. But I think negativity breeds negativity. You know what I mean? If someone's going to be super negative around you, it's almost easier to say that they're out to get you or feel paranoid or, you know what I mean? But I feel like if you try to keep control of yourself and just worry about being positive and confident and just working hard, and I don't know, I think that's good. I think that's all
Winning and success solves a lot of things. I learned that.
Sure.
You learn that over the years of playing. When you're winning, all the issues kind of start disappearing. And when you start losing, that success starts disappearing, then all of a sudden the problems become magnified. So when you're dealing with teammates who aren't the easiest to deal with, or you're dealing with coaches who are just riding your ass about a lot of things, or stuff that's out of your control, I think the show that we had with Dustin last week, there's a lot of good stuff that they could bring or they could use from that, because
for sure
he talks about stuff like out of your control. You can't be worrying about that. And it's really kind of like a cliche thing to hear. But when you really master that and you really get a firm understanding of what he was talking about, that's such a big part of sports. And you see the most elite athletes, it's a really good time right now kind of to be able to go and research like elite athletes. There's all these cool documentaries coming out, and you listen to them. It's like they're so dialed in. You listen to people talk about Michael Jordan. He was so present all the time with his craft. He was nothing really could ever get to him. And he knew how to get himself to that mode where he was competing at the highest level whenever he needed to be. And so for me, like dealing with the negative energy is like, I feel like I've learned how to deal with that with a decent level. It took me also, I've had to learn a lot of things in terms of dealing with people in relationships, like player relationships. But for me, I always thought that if I have somebody around me who doesn't have the same goals for the team or for my own journey, like if they're not my teammate, then you'll see me kind of like slowly start to fade away. Like our relationship will start to fade away, whether it's a friend or something. Like if they don't have that same energy and that same drive as me, then it's tough for me to be around them for a long time. And so that's what you need to realize. Like if they're not going to have that same support, have that same drive and the same goals, then I think you need to find people who have that same sort of drive as you do.
Yep.
Yeah. If that makes sense. We'll take one more here, and then we'll do a final wrap up before we get the Beach Volley Vikings on the show. So we have Shane Engel here. He is currently living in Shanghai, China.
A lot of Shangs going on here.
He's going to be attending Benedictine Mesa next year, the last year's NAIA champs. And he just want to say what's up, boys, and give a big shout out. So I just want to say, him, thank you very much for listening. That's so sick that you're listening from Shanghai. We have a few listeners from Shanghai. I've gotten a few messages from there, but that's awesome. And best of luck to you going forward next year. But for you, Max, have you been checking out any shows on Netflix recently?
Yeah, I love like all these British comedies and stuff. I was watching this show called In-Betweeners. It was absolutely killing me. But
I've seen that.
I don't know, man. That is just right up my alley.
Dude,
that kind of
so when I was recommended this show that I just watched, I watched it in 3/4 of a day, like cranked it out. When I was recommended, I'm like, there's no way. Like I usually don't like these types of shows, and I'm not huge on like watching shows.
Yeah.
Outer Banks though.
Outer Banks.
Big fan.
What's it about?
So I don't want to give me spoilers. There's a cool trailer, but it's basically these group of friends, and they didn't film it in the Outer Banks. They're getting a lot of hate for that. But it's about this group of friends who went, and basically this one kid, his dad died or disappeared. They did at the beginning. Shoot, I just I said I was gonna everybody go watch the trailer. Outer Banks, it's dope. You know, and
sounds like the Goonies.
No, that's exactly. Everybody compare. It's like a tie of like the Goonies and also some other shows, but it's really cool. I liked it. I was a fan. And you know, Madeline Klein is not too bad either.
Whoa, girl. No, girl.
So we're gonna be getting into Beach Volley Vikings now. I feel like.
All right, let's get our guests on the show.
I feel like we should get them on the show now.
Let's do it. Joining us all the way from Norway, the Beach Volley Vikings. All right, guys, we're joined here by the Beach Volleyball Vikings. Hendrik, Christian, Anders, how we doing, man? Where are you guys joining us from today?
We're joining from Norway, from a cozy little cabin in Norway. We've got a fireplace working behind us.
That is
perfect.
How's that couch raging?
How's that couch fitting you guys? That thing's like 5 feet tall.
It's a little too small. It's just we like to be a little intimate. I know you guys like it too. So
yeah, we were kind of looking and we were like, how are they gonna fit? How are they gonna fit 4 people? Matthias will be joining us later on the show here, but I was like, how are they gonna fit 4 people on there? They're gonna have to like lay across each other.
Yeah, I think we're gonna have to switch out, honestly. Matthias is not gonna fit here.
Yeah.
One of us has to take out the fireplace anyway. So.
All right. So as you guys said, you are joining us in Norway. When people first think of Norway, probably not the best weather for beach volleyball. Skill volleyball, yes. Weather, not the greatest because a lot of snow, a lot of cold, right? People don't think of that when they think of beach volleyball. So let's go into training and how and your schedule for training. What people really don't know is you guys are always on the move for training wise, right? You guys spend half your year in Spain. Am I right? Yeah.
More or less. Yeah, not half the year, but we think we spend maybe two months.
Yeah, like 3 months, depending on what a season looked like and stuff. We try to go abroad as much as possible because obviously we don't play in indoor sand facilities. We play tournaments outside, so it's best to emulate those conditions. And then it's nice to have a vacation too, to go to other places in Norway because Norway is, like you said, really cold in the winter. So it's nice to get outside a little bit.
So the way we do it is like, when we're at home in Norway, we do a lot of strength. We're also not living in the same place in the country, so we do individual strength. And then when we're like traveling to Spain, then we have maybe 2, 3, 4 weeks of training, and then we get back to Norway, strength, and then we have different bulks of training.
Okay. So, I mean, your schedule seems to be kind of on the move all the time. So I think that you can kind of relate to a lot of viewers, right? We might not have like world-class viewers, but they understand that the travel of volleyball, and you got to understand to be the best, you have to kind of be always on the go, right? You see people like, oh, I have to go here, but it takes a lot, especially when you reach a certain level to kind of maintain that level of training. So I want to also talk about your rides, I guess, as you would say, to fame here. So you guys kind of came from Top Volley Norway. It's a volleyball school in Norway, and if you haven't checked it out, go and check it out on your guys' YouTube channel on Beach Volley Vikings. You guys did a whole video about it. It was by the way, that was a super cool video.
Sweet video, yeah.
It's a school in Norway where it's just volleyball training and school, and you guys are all matched together, kind of like a college environment. But let's go into the differences between how you guys, I guess, were treated now versus back then. And I think that I'm sure you guys saw a lot of cool differences, like whether it's training or travel, and how would you kind of describe that?
I think when we started, we were the ones that, of course, were like reaching out to the older guys and the better players. Like, are we able to practice with you guys? And we were really honored to like be a part of a training group with like Russia and the Netherlands and Austria when we had time to practice with them. But now it's like different because now they want to join us, and now they want to like they give us a call and like, where are you guys gonna be practicing? So we feel like there's a lot of players that wants to like be a part of our training group. So that's really fun. And,
Did-
yeah.
No, I was gonna ask. Was there anybody that you recall who told you no, and then nowadays they're like, "Oh, we want to come
Yeah, they're
train with
calling
you
you up
guys."
now. Or can you not say?
I think that might be because our dad, our coach, is responsible for like planning. So we don't know all the details there, but there might be.
I think Brazil had some.
Yeah, I think Brazil.
Yeah,
maybe
probably Brazil. They would be.
They turned us down, and
And
in a couple of years they said, "You want to practice with us? Just come over to the field."
In terms of your guys' actual training, was there any difference? Because especially for you, Anderson and Christian, that tournament down in Brazil was kind of, you guys finished second. It was a 3-star, I believe. And
Four.
then for
Four
all
star.
you, 4-star. So for all you guys, was there a difference in the training that happened between that time and then obviously all you guys kind of really coming onto the world tour scene?
This
broke.
Oh my God! Can you see that?
Yeah, burning the house down over there.
Oh my.
They lit a fire. That's the first time you're using that fireplace?
Yeah, first time.
Hopefully not the last. Yeah, we're not
We're
careful.
gonna
Oh
move
my
out
God.
to Toronto, so we'll be fine. Can you just repeat that?
Yeah.
question?
So again, so for all you guys in your team training, has there been a difference since that tournament? And obviously your guys kind of rise into the world tour and your just level of play and everything and your tournament finishes. Was there any change in your guys' training from that point on?
I don't think there was a difference in training. I think it was just like a breaking point when we like realized, okay, we have the level in us to compete amongst the best in the world, and I think we just gained a lot of confidence in that tournament, and because we knew we could play really well when we played at our best, but our level wasn't stable enough. So we had some really, really good games against great teams, and we beat them. But then we would play maybe a worse team, and we would lose. So our level wasn't stable enough. And then after that tournament, I think we just really got the confidence that we can beat everyone. And when we took that confidence with us in the next tournaments, I think that made all the difference. Like training wise, I don't think there was like a big difference.
More of a mentality thing that changed with you guys, you think?
Definitely.
For sure. Like looking at it from an outside perspective, these two guys, they were winning pools. Like they were winning pool play all the time, and this was back in the day when there used to be 3 games in the pool, and they would win every game in the pool, and then they'd come to round 2 in the playoffs, and then lose a tight game. That was the story, like in the start. But then after the Brazil tournament, when they broke through the round 2 and they got into the quarterfinals, they won the quarterfinal, they won the semi. Like as they said, you just gain the confidence to take it to the next level.
And for all three you guys, and when you guys are on the court, we get this question a lot onto our channel. When do you realize that you're like playing at the top of your game? You said, I think that's almost like a sense of like the step that you guys took is almost like a maturity level. You see like young players, like the top level players, they do that. They'll play really well against the best teams, but they need to learn how to play that same level against every team. For you guys, when do you know, like on the court, that you're just like feeling it and you're playing your best, like mentally or physically? What is it about your game that makes you realize that you're feeling it that match or that game?
I think I can feel it already in the warm up. Almost, I can feel like the body is on point, and my vision on the court is really important for me. So when I have that, I feel really confident in playing games, and I'm pretty sure that we will have a good chance of winning the match. And of course, sometimes it's hard. Your body is not 100%. You have to battling it through, and to have Anders on my side, that we know each other so well, we make good plans. It's kind of easier, and we have confidence even though we're not playing the best.
I think we also always try to focus on what we're gonna do on the court, and we always try to make plans, and we have a good communication on the court. So whenever we see that a tactic doesn't work anymore, then we try to mix it up, switch it, maybe go to the other player. And we never really go into the game with a like specific game plan. This is what we're gonna do, and only this. We have like a tactic that we set up before the game, but it's really open, and we're also like very open to adjust it throughout the game. And we have to adjust it because you can never really like predict what a player is supposed to do on the court, or if you can't really predict from the game before when they played against another team that they're going to do the same against us. We really need to be open to adjust at every point at every set.
Right. I think you kind of touched upon the game plan and the planning for it and the game strategy. And I think once you reach a certain level, what people don't understand, like they over focus on the game plan. Right. You should go in having like kind of a vague or maybe a strict game plan, but you got to realize you just got to go out there and play. Like that's the big thing. And I think some people are like too focused. Okay, this. When it comes down to it, you're not just going to be like, okay, we're going to try and do this in this situation. It's like 24-23, or for you guys, 20-21. Like you're not going to be like, okay, this is what I got to do. You just got to go out and play, kind of. And I think that's what the people kind of have to understand. We're gonna go into our next thing, talking about your vlogs, and I think that you guys kind of rose. I mean, when did you guys start those vlogs? Was it right before you guys kind of like started reaching kind of heights that you haven't reached before, or was it right after or right during?
It happened pretty simultaneously.
That's perfect.
The year of 2017, right?
Yeah.
The winter of
the winter probably. Like it was like the season or like the preseason before.
What inspired you guys to start that?
I think we made some videos just for the Norwegian people on Facebook. First, just to show our like everyday life as beach volleyball players, because we thought it's like amazing to play beach volleyball, traveling around the world. We get to see so many amazing places and meet so many cool people, and we want to take the Norwegian community to be a part of that. And then we received a lot of great feedback on that, and we decided to do more on English, so we could reach out to more people, and also publish it on YouTube. And then we just we got better and better at editing, and we found our like style with music and with cuts and everything. So now I feel like we have a good way to do it.
Yeah, I mean, we were inspired by YouTubers at the time that were doing these kinds of things, and we thought to ourselves, there's not a lot of sports people that do it. So it's like three things. It's a nice little hobby for us to do. It's something that's nice to look back at when you're done editing, and if you're done playing in the future, in the far future. It's like a nice thing that's nice to look back at, all the footage that you can film from yourself. And it's obviously it's really good marketing for ourselves too.
Super good. Sure.
So it's like those three things were really beneficial into us deciding to do this vlogs for YouTube. You know?
And so do you guys ever feel like when you're editing, or this is for me, right? So I feel like sometimes, because I mean I'm no expert like you guys or anything, but even when I'm doing something small, I feel like, let's say if I'm having trouble in volleyball or just trouble in anything, like once you kind of sit in that editor's chair or behind the camera, you kind of get in the zone, and it's kind of like all your problems kind of fade away. And I don't know at your guys' level if you have very many volleyball problems, but if you guys ever do you ever feel like kind of in your own world and just kind of like?
Yeah, it's definitely easier to get going once you get started. Like the hard part is to get started, to compile all the footage and to really sit down in the chair and do all this stuff, because you know it's going to be a lot of work. But once you get going, once you get editing and you're getting that inspiration of like, oh, this clip is going to work perfect with this segment, and I want to tell this story and all these things. once you get in that groove, it's really easy to spend a lot of hours editing, and it's really fun too. And obviously, when you publish the final product, it's great to see all the feedback and
Rewarding.
people.
Ask about that. Christian.
Yeah, it's rewarding.
Christian always seems like he's trying to stay out of the videos. Every time I watch the videos, it looks like Christian's trying to stay far out, and you guys got to chase him with the
My name is Christian Sandli Sørum. I'm 22 years young, and I'm from one of the most famous places in Norway called Rallingen. I went to high school at the top Volley in Norway.
Ja, var det allt?
Yeah.
Can you also speak Spanish?
See.
camera. I actually have one question. Who's that guy? That guy who always travels to your games and he's like checking out girls and like hitting your videos on your videos. Who is that guy?
That's
Roar. Yeah, Roar. That's a crazy friend from me and Anders' account.
That's perfect.
One of my childhood friends. He played volleyball before. I played beach volleyball with him way back in the day.
So
That's funny.
We had some good times together. He's a funny guy. He's crazy though.
did he ever actually pick up any girls there, or like how does that work there? Successfully.
You know what? He's actually never picked up a girl.
In his whole
When he's been around me, he's never picked up a girl. So he's really talking loud about all the girls he's picked up and everything, but I don't believe it.
And Hendrik,
He even came to Hawaii. I don't know if you were there. You were probably not there, Joe, but
no,
he came to
I
Hawaii.
wasn't there.
He
So
was there for like a week.
speaking about Hawaii, Hendrik, I wanted to ask you, and I think Anders and Christian, you guys have been to a match or two in the U.S., collegiate match. So for you, Hendrik, that change when you were way back ago, not way back ago, but it's been some time now.
Jeez.
When you made that change, or that from going from top volley when you were kind of a young kid, going to Hawaii and playing in the U.S., volleyball-wise, what was the biggest change you had to make in your game, or the thing that you noticed?
Good question. I'd say the level of volleyball in like D1 athletics in the United States, you have to be really physical. You have to be a great athlete. And so that was the biggest change up for me, was that we spent so much time in the weight room trying to get stronger, bigger, jump higher, hit harder, all these things. So that was the biggest change for me. It was just, you gotta be more athletic. You gotta be more powerful. I can see that in Jacob too now. He's gained a lot of weight, well, in a good way. He's gained a lot of muscle after joining Hawaii, and has become a lot of a better athlete. And I think that's really like the biggest change from top volley, at least to Hawaii.
For sure.
I think Jakob's been doing a lot more bicep curls in the Hawaii gym than he ever did in the top volley gym. I don't know if you guys would attest to that.
I think that's true.
Meathead mentality.
Definitely looks like it.
He's got to get ready for Sandy. He's got to show off
then-
that physique.
Yeah, exactly. And then going back to Europe and back to training with the Beach Volley Vikings, what was the biggest thing you had to change after leaving the U.S., both going back to the beach and also just going back over to Europe?
Well, the first season for me after going back from the U.S. was kind of weird because I broke my ankle in one of the playoff games in the NCAA. So my switch back to the beach was just getting healthy. It's a shitty answer for you guys, I know, but for me, it was just getting healthy. I didn't really think much about the game itself. Obviously, I had to improve my passing. I could work on that. Well, when my ankle was still blown out. Since I played as a middle blocker in Hawaii, I had to get a lot of passing reps in and really make sure to nail that. And obviously, the hand setting is a whole different story. You don't get the hand setting when you're a middle blocker, and it's a different touch from indoor to beach as well. So I'd say those two things were things that I worked the most on, and then hitting wise and blocking wise, it was really helpful that I was playing as a middle blocker in UH because I felt better blocking and I felt like I could spike angles that I hadn't before.
And
and I don't know how many people know this. I don't know if Anders told his coaches this, his beach coaches, but he played for a club this past winter, correct? You played indoor volleyball. What went into that decision? Because I don't see many of the top level beach players going and playing indoor, or once they go to the beach, they don't want to go back to the indoor. What did you just kind of wake up one day and decide that you wanted to go play indoor?
Yeah, and also especially not before Olympics season. It
was a really bold move.
Very bold move. I could have twisted my ankle and ended up injured, but no. I thought it would just be fun, and I wanted to just keep myself active this winter. Now, actually, I had some trouble with my quad after playing indoor. So
your coaches are really excited about that.
Coronavirus came at a very good time. No, but I think for me, I just decided it would be a lot of fun, and I just wanted to keep myself in shape this winter. And I did it by playing indoor volleyball. It's not that big of a difference playing indoor and beach volleyball, but yeah, I think I learned a lot because I'm not sure if I'm going to do it again. But that's because I think my brain needs some rest from like beach volleyball and volleyball in general, because
and body too,
and body, but especially my mind was really fueled up with way too much volleyball this winter season. So I think I need to have like a break.
Christian, have you ever thought about playing indoor again, or are you just over that side of it?
I'm kind of over it, yeah. But it's always fun to play indoor, and we made a team a couple of years ago, and it was a lot of fun. But
Bill Blocker.
No way.
Jakob was on that team too.
Yeah.
So it was.
Is he also a middle?
Jakob was playing opposite. He was on opposite.
But it was a lot of fun, but my body, after a long beach season, I need some rest. So I need to take care of my body.
Yeah, but your body is your moneymaker, so that's good.
I wanted to ask you guys about another resting thing that Jakob mentioned to me that was a big thing when you guys were in school. Are you guys World of Warcraft players too? Because that's been a big thing for him lately. Or you missed that craze. Wow. Okay. That's a flop. Noted. I'm going to for sure give him some crap for that later.
So there's a rumor out there. You guys can debunk it if it's not true or if it is true, that you guys went on one of the most popular Norwegian TV shows. The name escaping me, even if I did remember it, I probably couldn't pronounce it right. And you guys went on, and they asked you guys about your dating status. And they said, and one of the questions I think was if you're single or not. And then once you guys kind of went on that show, I heard your guys' DMs kind of blew up after that. And you guys got a bunch of DMs from a lot of people. So can you explain to us the story behind that and what really happened? And if it was successful?
Where
I didn't.
Sources?
No, I don't know. I'm really surprised too. I don't know.
There's some haters. When you come out of system, you got to be ready. You got to be ready for some bad haters. We've almost ended relationships in this show, so you guys gotta watch out. We're just gonna take that as a success.
We got a lot of cool offers. We had some ladies that wanted to come join us on tour, and they could sleep between me and Christian.
Troubles there. We have a segment on the show called. Sorry. Continue.
We got a lot of requests on dates and everything. That was a lot of fun, but I never followed up.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Maybe Christian was sleeping one
Christian's
time.
looking like he might have followed up on a couple of those. So this is kind of a question for Christian. I think Matthias just walked in the room. I don't know if he wants to answer this as well.
He just got back.
Right on. If he wants to hop in on this answer here. So obviously how we doing, Matthias? So doing well. My brother and I, obviously we've played together a lot. And with you guys and your kind of quad training group, the brother relationship between Anders and Hendrik. Is that like a typical brother relationship? Do they fight often? And who would win in a fight, do you think, between those two?
Who's gonna answer?
I want to hear Christian and Matthias, their answer between what the relationship is like between those two.
I think they sometimes, like a fist fight.
Or argument, yeah.
Okay.
Hendrik never backs down. Always wants to win the fight, even though it's for a pizza slice or whatever it is. So it's always Hendrik that never gives in, and Anders is like, oh, come on, Hendrik, like seriously, it's just a pizza slice or whatever.
I'm good at arguing.
You never give up.
Yeah, it's true.
So I would pick Hendrik, yeah.
Yeah, and you can do too.
Who's the favorite?
Or how shitty your
Well, that's the trademark of a great argument, like a great hitter. You can make
Gotta
a
be
shitty
stubborn.
argument turn, like you can win with a shitty argument.
And who's the favorite in their family with their parents? Who's the favorite child?
Well, none of us.
None of us.
That's our
Your parents just don't like any of you?
Yeah,
right
no,
on.
it's a little sister.
She gets all the attention.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Favorite.
How many?
That's right.
Marcus as well.
How many moles are there?
There's 5.
5.
We're
So
five. We're 5.
we don't want to keep you guys too much longer, but we like to finish off our shows usually with our guests of some sort of rapid fire question game or something like that. So we came up with a list of most likely to questions between all you guys, and we just want you to point to who you guys think the answer is. Max has the questions here. He's gonna read off, and there's only like 6 or 7, but feel free to elaborate on your decision as well.
Yeah. So we just want you guys to point at who you think is the most likely to do this, or whoever you think is the right person. So the first question is, who makes you guys laugh the most? Wow. Okay. Unanimous decision. Okay. The next one we have is, who asks the dumbest questions out of you guys? Don't point at me.
Christian.
It's either one of those.
Upwards, like at least I'm joking.
Christian's in the lead. And then the other one we want to know is, who gets the most DMs? Oh, okay.
Self-dominated. I love it.
Christian's the one who actually acts on him, though, apparently.
Yeah.
Anders doesn't answer, only Christian does.
That's funny.
Christian wins that one. For sure.
Who's the most likely to borrow money and not pay it back? Oh,
Everyone's just grabbing on Christian here.
That's funny.
Forget, so. No harsh feelings. You just forget.
Who's the most likely to get arrested out of you guys? Oh,
What would it be
Here's
for?
the story
though?
behind
What
this.
would it
Why?
be for?
What was that?
What
would
makes
it
you
be
guys
for?
say that? Yeah.
What it would be for?
Driving
too
speeding.
Oh, man.
Beating up someone.
Okay. Our last question here is, who's the most likely to spend all their earnings right after winning a tournament? Just blow it all.
What's the most? Have you done that before? What's like you don't have to say a number. What's the craziest story you've had where you went and just like kind of went on a power trip and done that? Have you done it before or no?
Or you're just most likely to, probably.
Oh, I've seen him. He likes to go to a casino.
I like to play at the casino though, so.
That's a quick way to lose money.
Yeah.
When's the
I
tournament?
think I'm the one who plays the most in the casino. Me and Christian likes to play in the casino.
That's funny.
If there's ever a championship in Las Vegas, you guys are in trouble there.
There was. Didn't you guys play one of those?
Yeah. There was a tournament in Las Vegas. There was one.
Oh man.
Christian
I don't think
lost
Matthias wasn't there. Luckily, that's good for Hendrik.
True. So, hey guys, we're still waiting on our gear that you guys promised us. Your shirts, your beach volley Vikings shirts. So anytime you want to send those that way, Hendrik, come on, man, hook it fat for us, man. So if you ever want to,
Got you, Paige. I got you.
my favorite is Christian sleeping. That's a classic, man. Is that your bestseller? What's your bestseller?
It might be that one.
I think the great Beach Vikings clean.
Yeah, just like the regular logo, but the Sleeping Christian is actually selling really well.
And also
it's a fun shirt.
the new cap that we have is also
Really?
I was doing that too.
Are you guys releasing videos? I mean, content or shirts and hats pretty often? Like, when do you guys kind of launch like new clothes?
We were about to launch some hoodies and some socks now in these next weeks, but the shop that we ordered from, they like when the coronavirus came, they had to make masks for COVID-19, so it's a little bit delayed.
You guys should make masks. That's what you guys should make.
That would be sick. That would be sick.
And one last question here for Matthias, since he kind of joined us later on here, and then we'll let you guys off. And it's relating to his dog. I'm sure he gets this a lot. Where did your dog learn all this stuff that we've seen on social media?
I don't know where she learned from. She didn't learn from me. She kind of learned by herself, by us throwing some sticks when we were out walking, and then suddenly one day I tried to play to throw a ball at her, and then she just bounced it back, and then I tried to bounce it back to her, and then it just kind of went viral.
And now she has more followers than Beach Volley Vikings in a week.
And Christian.
And Christian.
I gained them in like 2 weeks. It took 2 weeks, and then she was like crazy. But Kiara, she's always been around us when we've played and practiced. Like she's always, she's always by the courts, and she's observing and looking. And she's also at Top Volley most of the time because she's there with Jetman. I mean, Joe, when you visited Top Volley, she was there, right?
Oh yeah.
So she's like, she's a full-bred volley dog. She's seen a lot of volleyball, like more volleyball than most people, also at a high level. So if I had to guess, like she's learned quite a bit from just watching, honestly.
Guys, Beach Volley Vikings, thank you so much for joining us. I hope you guys are staying safe. I hope you're staying warm, and I hope that you don't burn down your
Hopefully you
house
guys
there.
get to play a tournament or maybe this summer. I don't know.
Exactly. Thank you guys so much.
It'd be like local tournaments, nothing big. But
is the AVP going?
We've heard at the end of summer they're planning on it, maybe. So we'll see.
From King Crab, that he was.
You guys got to marry. You have to marry an American woman. Are they allowing foreign players?
No.
Okay. You got to marry an American woman then, and you can. Christian's on top of that.
Enter those DMs, baby. All right. Thank you guys so much for joining us. I hope you guys are staying safe. Say hi to your families and stay safe. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
It's nice seeing some old friends. Definitely really, really nice. And making some new ones along the way.
My roommate, Hendrik Mole.
503 boys.
503, represent.
Talking about 503 boys. That was our room number. That was our apartment number. It's me, Capono Fate, Brandon Rattray, Evan Larchelle, Hendrik Mole.
We should get a 503 reunion on the show.
Norway's strong.
One time we'll bring him on the show. So that was in college. Those were our roommates, and that whole squad though is so cool. And I don't know, we never made this public, but me and Gage were scheduled to have a baby court or a short court match against the Moles when they came out for like an AVP tournament. The whole Beach Volley Vikings crew came out 2 years ago until I strained my hamstring the week before they came, and so I couldn't play. And so that match never happened. We know that who would have won that match though.
Oh, for sure us. We've just been bombing serves.
Gage and I would have absolutely brought it to the
Dude,
Moles.
the thing about
took it to them.
The thing about baby courts, a smaller net. And the people
explain where baby court is.
So baby court's in Outrigger, in Oahu, Hawaii. So it's a very, very famous, they call it canoe club. It's a country club, beach country club, if you will. And they have beach courts. They have 2 normal sized courts. And the third one, they have what's called a baby court. And it's actually very good for
legendary
ball
court.
Everyone knows baby court there. And how high's the net? Too high. I don't know.
7 feet.
I don't know.
Not very high.
7 feet.
It's about 7.
6.5.
It's for babies.
It's 7 feet. It's a smaller court. It's still still decently big. It's not like too small, but it's like perfect size. And the thing about that is jousting, man. Jousting, as you know, the guy who's lower usually wins, right? The guy who gets you right between his arms. I feel like we just done quick sets,
super quick. You know, and also talking with Anders, you know, he was most valuable player on the tour last year. Yeah.
Yeah. Was
Off air, he was talking to us. He's like, Christian's awesome, and if I would have played you guys with Hendrik, he's awesome. And I know, team. This is a team, but at the end of the day, you can't spell team without ME. So he was giving himself some mad props on that and saying how no, I'm kidding. He would never.
all about himself.
Yeah. As you could tell by from that show, they're very arrogant and very stuck up.
Totally not humble, guys.
The thing about Norway is we have Jakob, as we mentioned, as when we interviewed him. We have Jakob Tella, who's our setter for UH. And he's obviously Norwegian, and they're just like the coolest, chillest guys ever. They're funny. They're funny, man. If you go to the I got a chance to visit Hendrik this past year, and everything there is just kind of like super sick, and everybody's just really low key and really nice people, and you can see why everybody who comes to Norway is that way. So just a very nice lifestyle. All right, before we wrap up, Joey's going to give a second here again to remind you about our giveaway. This is Colton's old jersey. He did give it to me. I don't think he knows that we're giving it away.
He wore it.
Doesn't matter. I snuck in his house and I stole it, okay?
He had it on in a game.
And again, how you win that, you must duet or react to one of our dancing videos from our TikTok at outofsystem_808. Go check it out. And then for an extra bonus submission, you can get 2 submissions. Comment or tag people on that or on our IG post, and we'll be throwing everybody's names in a hat, drawing that, and announcing that on Thursday's show. But you must duet or react, or else you can't be in the bucket to be selected from.
Or else we'll fight you. I'm just kidding. We're not going to fight you.
He will fight you.
I will.
Gage will fly Gage out to where you are to fight you. He'll be at your door.
I'm all about. I don't know. That's my go-to, man. I will literally fight you. Told my professor one time. I'm just kidding. I did not. One of these days. All right, guys. Thank you so much. We enjoyed the Moles, Enders, Hendrik, all the beach volley Vikings,
Christian,
all
everybody.
those guys.
You guys are legends.
That was epic.
Thank you guys so much. This has been another episode of Out of